It is exactly 8 p.m. Good evening to you and welcome to Church of Uganda Family TV News at 8. My name is Hope Nyongeza and on the sign language is Winnie Buyinza. Let us take a look at our news headlines.
Headlines brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
In the headlines tonight, NRM's Babide Chitosara withdraws from deputy speakership race, citing protection of peace within party.
Therefore, I feel and I thought, after, of course, consultations and being guided, that it was right for me to step down and back up or support Right Honorable Thomas Tayebwa.
Also tonight, ICT e-learning hub brings hope to St. Agatha Girls School. Boost competence-based learning. Teachers claim their burden has lessened.
Appreciate the ICOB Apex community for giving us such a good computer lab because we are really in a good state now. We are no longer struggling. I really appreciate. May the Lord bless them.
And from across the world, Iran warns of war beyond the region if US resumes attacks.
brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
Now you're welcome once again, and starting us off tonight, Bukoto East MP NRM's Honorable Babide Chitosara has bowed out of the deputy speakership race of Uganda's 12th parliament, citing consultations with senior cadres and a resolve to preserve institutional memory. Now, her withdrawal comes amid growing momentum for former Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, who was endorsed by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and herself. Now, while welcoming Honorable Oboth's viability for the speakership, she emphasized the competence and institutional knowledge must outweigh gender considerations as the contest heads toward the May 25th election. We'll take a look. NRM's Honorable Babide Chitosara, the Member of Parliament for Bukoto East and contestant for the Deputy Speaker position in the 12th Parliament, has officially withdrawn from the race. She explained that after extensive consultations with various stakeholders, including senior cadres, she was advised to step down in order to safeguard and preserve the institution's memory.
We are all aware I had declared to contest as the Deputy Speaker of the 12th Parliament. I was determined, I was ready, and as you all know, those who know me, I don't do things out of excitement and all that. But after declaring, after posting on my Twitter that I was coming, a number of people contacted me and they were sharing a lot of issues and number of stuff with me, showing me and telling me why some were I should contest, were giving me all that support as you all were following up on the Twitter. But there were also those genuine senior people that advised me that I should step down. And one of the reasons they were giving me, they gave me so many reasons, but one of those that I really, really thought about and made me accept willingly to step down was the issue of the institutional memory.
This also comes at a time when the endorsement of former Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Thomas Tayebwa, was publicly backed yesterday by the Chief of Defence Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, through a post on his official X account. The Bukoto East legislator, who cited several reasons for her withdrawal from the deputy speakership race, however emphasized that she had chosen to rally behind Honorable Thomas Tayebwa.
Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Thomas Tayebwa, was also new in that position as a Deputy Speaker. It's not that they were not good, it's not that they didn't know what to do, but probably there was a gap. There is a lot that was happening and they didn't know how to handle and how to proceed, and there was also no one to consult. Therefore, I feel and I thought, after, of course, consultations and being guided, that it was right for me to step down and back up or support Right Honorable Thomas Tayebwa.
She also welcomed the endorsement of Honorable Botho Both, noting that he was a viable candidate for the position of Speaker. However, she stressed the importance of having a leader deeply familiar with the institution's workings. At the same time, she dismissed suggestions that the Speaker and Deputy Speaker positions must necessarily be split along gender lines, emphasizing that competence and institutional knowledge should take precedence.
Honorable Botho Both, he's not doubtable. He's senior, he's smart, he's a good man, he's humble, he can consult, but I think here or there, to those of you who have worked in public offices, you need someone to consult. I think it's high time we don't be selfish. We don't think about gender issues now. We don't bring in other emotional issues. Let's focus. Let's have these two speakers. It is okay even if they are male. Then next term in the 13th Parliament, we shall be having the bargaining power.
At least 5 candidates are currently vying for the deputy speakership race of Uganda's 12th Parliament ahead of May 25th, 2026 election, following PLU's endorsement of Jacobo Botho Both for the speakership position. The main contestants actively competing for the seat include the current Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, Agaga County MP Edward Makmut Oto, Deputy Attorney General Jackson Kafuzi, prominent NRM member Lydia Wanyuto, and Ndoro West MP David Bahati. And moving on, excitement and renewed hope filled St. Agatha Girls Secondary School, Kakore, as teachers and students welcomed a newly commissioned ICT e-learning hub aimed at improving access to modern learning resources and digital education. Now, the facility established by the International Community of Banyachigezi is expected to strengthen teaching and learning under Uganda's competence-based curriculum. We have the report.
St. Agatha's Girls Secondary School, Kaburi, was filled with joy as the school marked a major milestone in integrating the digital technology into teaching and learning. Mohammed Olivia, a history and a Christian religious education teacher, said the new ICT facility will greatly improve the lesson delivery under the competence-based curriculum. She explained that teachers can now use multimedia tools, including educational videos, to simplify complex concepts and make learning more engaging for the students.
CRE and history. So this computer lab, as a teacher of history, it is going to help me, for example, to download some movies. Like if I'm teaching about slave trade, I go to the lab, I download the movie, I connect to the projector, then I show the students. So they'll be learning, seeing what they are learning in theory. Then when it comes to CRE, I can download different films concerning different topics. Like if I'm teaching a topic like charity, I download like a clip where, like a movie, where people are offering charity services. Then when I'm teaching, I show the learners so they watch what I'm teaching.
The ICT teacher Alexander Orikunda said the new hub has already reduced pressure on both the teachers and learners. He said that limited computer access previously caused delays during practical lessons and examinations, but the increased number of the computers will now improve efficiency and boost students' confidence in using the digital technology.
It was initiated by the members from the international community of Banyakigezi. These are the people that live outside our country, Uganda. I want to thank them for coming out with this idea of supporting the digital organization in Africa, because minus this computer era, really we can't survive in whatever we are doing.
Students describe the ICT hub as a turning point in their academic journey, noting that the current curriculum increasingly requires the use of the digital learning platforms and ICT tools for research and study.
Appreciate the ICOB Apex community for giving us such a good computer lab, because we are really in a good state now. We are no longer struggling. I really appreciate. May the Lord bless them.
We used it to struggle a lot. The students were very many and the computers were very big. So students used it to struggle, but now since we got this lab, students, they have been comfortable. When we come into the laboratory, everyone has the computer to use, and now the students will be able to research. And now, new curriculum, they do a lot of research, so students, they will not suffer going to the library when some work is not there. Here we have the internet, so we can find every work on the computer using the internet. So we are really grateful to the ICOB Apex. We thank them a lot. May God bless them.
Before we had a small space of the computer laboratory. The school has over 800 students, but now we have over 100 computers, and so meaning we can able to use them for the study purpose. Another thing, the computer does not only have the gadgets, but we also have an internet connection. This has made studying easy. As you know, this generation that we are in, we have the new curriculum, and this new curriculum is more about research and things that really can help us in our daily life, the applications, and of course we cannot access that without internet, without this standard way of research. So it is easy for us to research about work, the applications. You want to be an engineer, you can start from right here. We are exposed to the whole world because we can use the website, we can post a lot, we learn a lot worldwide. And so every student is really getting something big out of it, and we expect that our excellence will be even more than.
For years, the school struggled with inadequate access to computers and digital materials, especially during examination periods when many learners had to share a few computers, slowing assessments and limiting practical learning opportunities.
Now, the outgoing State Minister for Foreign Affairs and Member of Parliament for Samia Bogor County North, Honorable Mulimba John, has added his voice to the national debate on the fight against corruption, calling for firm, lawful and constructive punishment for public officials found culpable. We take a look.
Addressing journalists in Kampala, Honorable Mulimba John, the outgoing State Minister for Foreign Affairs and Member of Parliament for Samia, Bugwe County North, commended President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for what he described as walking the talk in the renewed crackdown on abuse of office and grift across government institutions.
Campaigns. I would like to thank the President. Upon swearing in, he made a declaration which I personally welcomed and which I think has been welcomed by all Ugandans. That is Chisanja, no sleep.
Speaking with conviction, Mulimba said many Ugandans are yearning for decisive action to clean up public institutions and restore trust in leadership. He welcomed the President's declaration during his swearing in that corruption would be confronted head-on, nothing that within days visible steps had already been taken.
To my President, to our Sergeant Chisanja, no sleep. Chisanja, no sleep. And the fundamental item we must confront here is corruption.
Mulimba also expressed appreciation for the role being played by the Chief of Defense Forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, saying the involvement of the security forces in supporting anti-corruption efforts is not emotional or political, but constitutional and civic. Referring to Article 17 and 208 of the Constitution of Uganda, which outlines the duties of citizens and the mandate of the UPDF, including patriotism and protection of national interests.
It is a civic and constitutional duty of all Ugandans under Article 17 of the Ugandan Constitution 1995 as amended. But secondly, let Ugandans visit the Constitution under Article 208 and look at the duties of UPDF. Among others, UPDF is required to be patriotic. So if there's anybody who had an illusion and either misgiving and asking why UPDF is discharging her mandate under the Constitution, under Article 208, and of course also, as you are aware, under Article 209.
He says he hopes to see the outcomes of these efforts reflected in the courts of law, where offenders are arraigned and punished in accordance with the law.
And let's have all those who are implicated face the full force of law.
The minister warned that the circulation of wealth by few individuals with impunity has severely hurt Uganda's economy, with large sums of money allegedly being withheld from circulation, some kept in private homes instead of banking systems, affecting businesses and livelihoods.
So corruption is a very bad disease. All of us are suffering. All of you are suffering. When there is custom credit in the country, because some few people have really done this money and kept in their houses, banks will hike the credit because its availability is quite scarce.
Mulimba further proposed that members of parliament and parliamentary staff who have information about corruption should be given safe and discreet channels to report directly to security agencies without fear. John called on the public to support the ongoing crackdown and urged those with credible information about the wrongdoings, especially within parliament, to volunteer it to the relevant authorities. John emphasized that fighting corruption is a collective responsibility that requires cooperation between citizens, leaders, and security organs.
Parliament, please go all the way. Open up avenues for members who belong to the 11th Parliament to come and reveal to you what they know, what might not be publicly known. Therefore, that's why I'm calling upon Afandemo to rush the NRM Secretariat. That's why the people have really accumulated illicitly a lot of wealth. They are buying skyscrapers all over, building them,
Mulimba concluded by thanking President Museveni for his leadership during past national crises, including an Ebola outbreak, nothing that President's foresight in quickly convening a national task force and even postponing major national events to safeguard public health.
I want to thank the President for managing Ebola. Of course, all of us are aware that by now we'll be having thousands and millions of people trekking to Namugongo. But the foresightedness of His Excellency the President, he convened very quickly the National Epidemic Response, National Task Force, and he was able to analyze the situation and directed that and advised that Namugongo, if there will be a Namugongo, millions of Ugandans and non-Ugandans will die.
As the anti-corruption drive gathers momentum, leaders like Mulimba say what Ugandans now expect are visible results, accountability and restoration of integrity in the public service. Emmanuel Alengai for Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.
Now, with only 13 days remaining to the Uganda Martyrs' Day, we continue to honor the courage and sacrifice of those who chose faith over fear. Now, today we remember Chiwanuka Giyaza, a young follower of the Anglican missionaries from the Mpewo clan, who, though not yet baptized, willingly embraced death rather than renounce the Christian faith during the Namugongo executions of 1886. We'll take a look.
It is hard to trace the background of this young man. One eyewitness, James Mitty, said that he was an unbaptized follower of the Anglican missionaries, although he accepted to be killed for his faith. In Buganda, he belonged to the Mpewo clan. Not much is known about Giyaza, but it is believed that he was among those burnt alive on 3rd June 1886 at Namugongo.
And with that, let us head into the Archbishop's moment. Archbishop's Moment, sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now. And
African Hearts Junior School, where we nurture joyful, helpful and God-fearing children.
This is now, we are in First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16, rejoice evermore. And verse 17, he says, pray without ceasing. That's the second thing. Pray without ceasing. We are called to pray in all circumstances. I like the words of Jesus' teaching in the Gospel according to Luke chapter 18. The judge who was not fearing God, but the widow who persistently went to him and this woman is giving me trouble. Malagatwala. So we must pray without ceasing. We must pray always. And prayer simply means you have known where power comes from. You have known where resources come from. And you are yet, I'll trust this God always. Prayer without ceasing. It means that we must trust God in all circumstances. It is a call to trust Him, not to trust your pain. It is to trust His doings, not other doings.
Archbishop's Moment, sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now. And
African Hearts Junior School, where we nurture joyful, helpful and God-fearing children.
yes, indeed, pray without ceasing in good times and in bad times. But most importantly, trust in the Lord your God. Do not lean on your own understanding, knowing very well that He will never leave you nor forsake you. That's the message for tonight. We are going for a short commercial break, but do stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories. Welcome back to our second segment of News at 8. Now, the newly sworn-in Kampala Lord Mayor, Balimwezo Nsubuga, has criticized government for evicting street vendors from roadsides, saying many contribute significantly to the country's economy and that some later turn to crime after losing their livelihoods. He also emphasized the need for inclusive leadership, saying Kampala cannot be managed by council leaders alone. We take a look.
Many did not believe that I would uproot Mr. Elias Lukwago, who was very powerful, with experience of over 15 years. But I trusted God. Believe me, you ladies and gentlemen, I spoke to God about this. Let him strike me dead if he did not speak to me.
Today at the KCCA headquarters, 35 newly elected council leaders, including the new Lord Mayor Balimwezo Nsubuga, were officially sworn in.
I, Balimwezo Ronald Nsubuga, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I shall faithfully exercise the function of the Lord Mayor of Kampala Capital City Authority, and shall uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and observe the laws of Uganda, and that I shall promote the welfare of the people of this city. So help me God.
Speaking shortly after taking oath, Balimwezo Nsubuga, who succeeds Elias Lukwago, criticized government over the eviction of more than 35,000 roadside vendors, noting that many play a major role in Uganda's economy.
While order and proper urban management are important, many families were left without livelihood, highlighting the urgent need for organized, humane, and inclusive economic alternative for low-income earners and informal workers who form a big part of Kampala's economy.
He expressed concern that some of those affected later resort to crime after losing their source of income.
Over 60% of the people are in informal economy. So we must, as a matter of urgency, sir, my lord, we must address that issue. Today, you will find that majority of the people that were just from the streets have become thieves.
Balimwezo also noted that many Ugandans continue to complain about traffic congestion in the city. He said leaders must address this issue to ensure that people stop spending long hours on the roads while trying to earn a living.
You drive from Banda and it take 2 hours to Kampala because of jam. And in monetary terms, they clearly say that we lose 10 trillion every year. Therefore, we must make sure that we work on our roads. It's a big challenge. We lose productive time, and we must, as a matter of fact, address that issue.
On education, the new Lord Mayor raised concern over the high school dropout rate, especially in government schools, saying many children start school but fail to complete their studies, a situation he said contributes to rising crime levels.
Kampala has only 79 government-aided primary schools. I want to take keen interest in this. Countries have developed because of human capital development. Here in Uganda, we produce 2.4 million babies every year. But only, according to the Ministry of Education, only 1.88 million commence primary 1. 7 years down the road, only 740,000 sit for PLE. 1.14 million drop out before completing primary 7. And we pose that we have a clear policy of education that we cannot implement.
He further criticized KCCA for selling school land, noting that 51 parishes in Kampala still lack government schools. He said the available public school land should be protected for future generations.
KCCA, the land board, sells off land of schools in Kampala. Just a few weeks ago, they were selling off old Kampala secondary school land.
Balimwezi also stressed that Kampala development cannot depend on council leaders alone. He called for collaboration with religious leaders, utility service providers including electricity and water authorities, and other stakeholders to jointly discuss and plan for the city's future.
Now moving on, celebrations erupted across the streets as passionate supporters of Arsenal FC marked what many are calling a historic moment for the club, having won the Premier League competitions. After 22 years, emotions poured out from loyal fans, expressing joy and satisfaction over the well-deserved win. Our reporters hit the streets to capture the exciting moments and memories, reactions from fans as the long wait finally came to an end.
For more than 2 decades, generations of Arsenal FC supporters kept hope alive as the club laid strategy for a win that would mark their return to major glory. Among the fans we spoke to was Kansabe Thomas, a border rider and passionate Arsenal supporter who described the moment as one of the happiest in his life as a football fan.
Emyaka gyonna nze kikopo sikirabangako. Wanatanga jiwagira ndi mu kyalo tewali na TV. Nga tuliza ku radio ne mpulya nga kigenze sikirabangako kugenda kusookera ddala.
Thomas also urged fellow Arsenal fans to celebrate responsibly and avoid engaging in violence, destruction of property or any form of public disorder during the celebrations. He emphasized that football should unite people and promote happiness rather than conflicts.
Just kimu kyokka kye mbakubiriza babeere bantu balamu bajeemu amalala tetukoma ku kikopo kimu kulaba twagala ekikopo ekyokubiri n'ekyokusatu n'ekyokuna kubanga kati tiimu zitidde.
Meanwhile, Aziz, a supporter of Manchester United FC, congratulated Arsenal fans upon winning the Premier League title.
Sano tetulina kye tugigamba kikopo bakikoleredde bambi sizoni mukaaga.
Juma Martin Kaganda, a trader operating in St. Bali Kudembe Market, said the timing of Arsenal title victory affected fans who had hoped for bigger celebrations.
Wano tubagiza Arsenal yatulina essanyu lingi nnyo nga wokiwulira naye kitukoze bubi nnyo kubanga tuwangudde ekikopo mu midweek singa badde weekend singa era kati tetumanya kumanya.
Isma, a local Ems and devoted supporter of Arsenal FC, revealed that Setongo Ashraf, a dealer in cosmetics within the neighborhood, said supporters are now fully backing Arsenal manager Michael Arteta following the team's success. He called upon Arsenal fans to continue celebrating proudly and urged the club's management to extend Arteta's contract for another term, crediting him for rebuilding the team and guiding it back to glory.
Yatuletedde ekikopo essanyu lye tuli muli lye tuulya lya Mwoki wa Gonja lye tulina era tugenda kuba pate n'ekya tugikube mpaka ku Sunday nga tukuba pate ya Arsenal kuba ati tugenda fuuka na balongo Nalongo Saalongo Arteta.
Jonah Jordan, a jersey seller and loyal supporter of Arsenal FC, expressed immense pride in being an Arsenal fan following the club's triumph. He congratulated fellow supporters upon winning the trophy and described the victory as a memorable moment that has brought joy, unity and renewed confidence among Arsenal fans.
I'm very proud, I'm very happy for being an Arsenal fan because we want to take the trophy.
Now, Equity Bank Uganda leadership has intensified efforts to promote financial inclusion and improve livelihoods among refugees and host communities through a continued outreach tour of refugee settlements in southwestern Uganda. Now led by Director Public Sector and Social Investments Catherine Somugen, the team is currently engaging stakeholders, refugee leaders, banking agents and beneficiaries in Rwamanja Refugee Settlement, Kamwenge District, where communities have praised the bank's financial literacy programs, access to credit and agency banking for transforming lives and boosting household incomes. We take a look.
Equity Bank Uganda leadership has continued its visit to refugee settlements in southwestern Uganda as part of efforts to strengthen financial inclusions and improve livelihoods among refugee communities. The team, led by the Director Public Sector and Social Investments, Catherine Somugen, is currently in Rwamanja Refugee Settlement in Kamwenge District, where they met stakeholders, refugee leaders, banking agents and beneficiaries of financial empowerment programs. During a stakeholders meeting held at the settlement offices, the refugee commandant in Rwamanja called on Equity Bank to improve agency banking services within the settlement to ease access to financial services for refugees and host communities. The commandant emphasized that improving agency banking would help reduce congestion and make banking services more accessible to vulnerable populations living in the settlement.
Since you're here as a team from Equity Bank, I would love to see how you can help these people to come into operation as your agents, because this comes with the challenges, because I know we coordinate and collaborate together as a team, because as OPM, we cannot do this work alone without partners. But in that coordination and the collaboration, we work as a team. So how can we help our people so that your services are better improved?
Among the beneficiaries is Ramzan Kasoli, a refugee from Congo and chairperson of the Youngster Nursery Establishment in Chepango F5.
On 2023, we got 3 million as a group. After getting that money, we make project of farming. We get land in the host community to hire from them. Then we grow the maize. After we pay a banker very well. We don't have any problem that we found from the bank.
Kasole says their group received a loan from Equity Bank, secured land from host communities where they started farming and tree seeding projects.
We thank the bank to give us a loan, and per now we don't have any problem that we have found to those money. I requested to Equity Bank to give us another loan, like 5 million, so that we can continue to make a big project such as tree nurseries, farming.
Kasole says the 3 million shilling loan transformed the lives of group members after they shared proceeds from their harvests. He explains that members used the income to pay school fees for their children and meet other household needs.
Ezo sente tuzikozesize zatuha interest agokuba tukasharura omusharuro guriya musharuro buri omwe yafunaho then ya agenda yakora ka business oweye yafunaho n'obusente bwo kushashura fees z'abana.
He, however, appealed to Equity Bank to increase the loan support to at least 5 million shillings to enable the group expand into more income-generating projects, especially tree seeding production.
If it's possible, you can give us that money, then we continue to working with them so that after we get interest from it.
Meanwhile, Amin Pire, a refugee from Congo and chairperson of the Equity Agents in Rwamanja Settlement, urged the bank to consider introducing fingerprint-enabled banking machines to help refugees who cannot read or write access their money more easily. Pierre says agency banking business in the settlement has greatly improved over time, revealing that the number of customers seeking financial transactions has increased from about 50 people to more than 1,100 customers monthly.
Reba ngo kuruga abantu 50 kwika 10 noreba ngo babire biyongireho konka WFP kiza yabacendeza habwe nshonga za sente yade yabihireho konka neza ishaha tikuza hansi y'abantu bina ninga bitanu.
He adds that the agency banking business has significantly transformed his livelihood and improved his standard of living.
Nywe nyine agency banking nyine nedu kasoma ko arabe yamara kuyaka sente ke nakemere nanye nyino muceri nyine sabuni nyino mwonyo nyine cyari kwenda nkino muduka so na yaho sentaha funa commission kandi agaruka guraho mwonyo funa yo commission ndijo so noreba ngo nitugoba double.
In Bugoro Kaberebere Parish, Nkoma Sub-County in Kamwenje District, members of Chikundane Youth Group also praised Equity Bank for empowering both refugees and host communities through financial literacy, training and access to loans. The group chairperson, Winston Kamsha, says members involved in savings, piggery and farming projects have benefited from Equity Bank loans for the last 3 years.
We got the loan, 3 loans in Equity Bank, that is 3 years. First year was 2022. They borrowed 5 million and we paid that portion. Then the second phase was 2024. We also borrowed 5 million, we paid. Then the third phase was 2025, also 5 million we paid.
Kamgisha says the financial literacy training equipped members with knowledge on proper management of funds, both as individuals and as groups. According to Kamgisha, many members have improved their livelihoods, bought land and built permanent houses due to profits generated from their projects.
So we have invested in poultry, piggery, goat rearing, maize growing and cassava. For individuals who have get the loan, and before getting loan we had a financial literacy training on how to save and what. So our individuals get an interest of getting individual loans.
Hati training ya financial literacy ekatwegesa okusavinga. Hati tukabana tumanya uno basa kusavinga omukuguma no saving mu VSL echonga kako najero mu training nareba ndo basa ku saving mu matungo ndo basa ku savinga omubindi kandi na financial literacy training kanyamba kushanga ntaku spending reryo.
Kumpa says the business has helped her buy her own land and improve her family's welfare. She now hopes to secure a bigger loan of more than 5 million shillings to further expand her projects.
Sakushanga waguza nkenkoko oyine cyo kwenda kugura letse abakanyonka ndiyo muntu wabire ntini itaka hati waguza nkenkoko noshanga wiya munka milioni emwe necweka kandi zitakubasa kwa affording itaka konkati ko ari kugenda wazo mu Equity Bank yakwa milioni 3 hatu oguri itaka then ugumanura ko mu project ya mpora no shashura.
The visit by the Equity Bank of Uganda leadership highlights the growing role of financial inclusion in improving livelihoods among refugees, host communities through access to credit, financial literacy and community-based economic empowerment initiatives. Story compiled by Julius Muhumza. This is News at 8.
And with that, let us have a recap of our news headlines.
Headlines brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
In the headlines tonight, NRM's Babide Chitosara withdraws from Deputy Speakership race, citing protection of peace within party.
Therefore, I feel and I thought, after, of course, consultations and being guided, that it was right for me to step down and back up or support Right Honorable Thomas Tayewa.
Also tonight, ICT e-learning hub brings hope to St. Agatha Girls School. Boost competence-based learning. Teachers claim their burden has lessened.
Appreciate the ICOB Apex community for giving us such a good computer lab, because we are really in a good state now. We are no longer struggling. I really appreciate. May the Lord bless them.
And from across the world, Iran warns of war beyond the region if US resumes attacks.
Brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
Well, that wraps up our news for tonight. We want to say thank you for staying tuned to our Wednesday edition here on News at 8, Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Hope Nyongereza, and on the sign language is Winnie Buyinza. We wish you a good night.
Through the valley, even if I'm lost in the shadows, I will not fear, for I know you are with me. Please help me find him. Even if I walk through the valley, follow me wherever I go. I will not fear, for I know you are with me.
When God was creating fish, he spoke to the waters. When he was creating the trees, he spoke to the ground. When he was creating the birds, he spoke to the skies.
From Job chapter 1 verse 21, Job gives us the reason to thank even when things are not good. Yeah, Job says we shall not only thank the Lord when things are good, but even when things are bad.
But God is kind. He extends his hand and he draws us back into a safe space.